All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. We are working on my brother's 2014 Ram. We are going to be working with exotic head studs. We did the same ones for my truck, but this is for the 6.7. They were nice enough to send us this whole kit out. Obviously, if you've seen our other video, or if not, watch this. High quality stuff. By the way, if you're wondering, I'll have to check back on my video and see when all of they were done. There's other goodies going in this. That's for another video. Right now, we're just working on this and super high quality stuff. Really like their stuff. And if you're wondering, I've yet to have an issue with mine. Of course, we went second gen swap. So these are still holding up. I want to shout out to these guys. Sorry that we didn't put these on sooner. Life happened and we're making good on our promise now. So we're also getting to test the Vivor. We're not sponsored by them, although if they want to reach out and sponsor us, definitely appreciate it. But this is a topside creeper. Right now, he is working on taking the valve cover vanity plate off, if you want to call it that, which is, looks like it's just a couple 8 millimeter. I think it's 6 8 millimeters. So
if you guys are doing your CCV filter, now would be a good time to do that. We are doing the exotic head studs and the Hamilton push rods. We've done the head studs on my brother's truck already. For anybody that's wondering about the quality of them, guys, we've yet to have an issue. They have been just fine. I know some people are like, oh, you need ARPs, or that's pretty much the end of the world. But until we get to the point to where they failed us, we're gonna stick with them. And a little short plug, guys. SPELAB is always a huge sponsor to all of our videos. If you guys are interested in any of their products as well, I have a code down in my description for 15% off. Take advantage of that while you can. But let's go ahead and get this off. I'm gonna pull the valve cover, guys. I have another video on my channel that talks about how to pull the valve cover. I'm gonna get the valve cover completely off, and then we'll get into it.
All right, guys, so once you get that off, I guess it's just part of the cover in the CCV. So next part is go ahead and removing the top part of this. So,
which is top valve cover, guys. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Get your harness out of the way. Mine's already out of the way. And then I'm gonna be able to pull the actual cover itself off, and then we'll be able to actually have, I'm sorry, you have a breather over here as well. I have one that's broke, that's capped, but you have another breather. You wanna get that out of the way, you'll be able to actually pop the cover off. So that's where we're at next.
By the way, he said that is a game changer. If you've laid on the engine bay of these, it's pretty sweet. All right, so once you guys are to that point and you have everything off, of course, the breather tubes and everything, next we are going to go ahead and work on the injector harness. Be careful, don't do any kind of crazy stuff. You don't need an impact for this. They're only on there with a couple foot-pounds, if that. I think they're probably inch-pounds. So don't break them or you'll have to get injectors.
I'll show you guys. I'm gonna take the phone up top here. I'm gonna show you guys in the order. If you're like, I don't know. I mean, if you somehow got your harness mixed up, first one, yellow, brown, then we got red, brown, blue, teal, yellow, brown, red, brown, and then the very back, we got blue on the inside and teal on the outside. So, I mean, I'm gonna have to undo it right here on these two, but if you're to this point, I mean, I'm trying to make this as easy as possible. Doing head studs on a Cummins, it's not gonna get much easier than this, but I just wanna make you guys feel as comfortable as possible while doing this. So that's the next step I'm doing. Guys, it looks like it's an 8 millimeter, that's what I'm gonna go with. And like he said, make sure you guys are just using a little ratchet. Don't take a lot. You break these injectors, you're gonna have a lot of money, so. All right, guys, moving to the next step. My brother's crawling up there right now. We're removing the rocker box. Jake, you want to point out the spot real quick?
So right there, that one, there's what, 1, 2, looks like 5 total.
5 total, 10 millimeter, guys. Then we're gonna be able to pull the rocker box up. Now, keep in mind, guys, we will have to modify this for that back head stud. So just keep that in mind, but we're trying to move right along. So far, if you guys want the honest time, I think we are probably 10 minutes up to this point, maybe 15. And hopefully we're getting to the point to where we can start pulling the rockers here in a little bit, okay? So.
All right, so we took the grill off too. Rocker box is off. I lied, there's actually 2 more. both ends of it. We haven't did this in a while, so we forgot, but here's what it should look like up to this point.
All right, guys, so I'm showing you guys an up top angle here. Sorry, there we go. We are going to get a piece of cardboard here, and we're going to pull all the bridges off. This is where we could also do the push rods that we're talking about. The push rods are pretty simple. They're just pull and put, like literally once I take this bridge, once I take the arms off and the bridge, yeah, be able to just do that. The injectors can stay at this point. There's no reason to pull them. They look
Spicy ones.
They look like what, 10 mil, 12?
I think they're 12s.
Look like 12s. Then we should be able to pull them off. Just keep in mind, guys, there's this little, trying to focus here, little caps right there. You don't want to lose them. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Keep these numbered. That's what we're going to do on a piece of cardboard that we'll show you guys, but we're about ready to start pulling studs.
All right, he's starting to remove those. It is a 10 millimeter inside. So basically, the theory behind labeling these is to make sure it goes back to the cylinder that it came from, because sometimes they can wear differently. Don't know if that matters or not. I don't know. We're not gonna take a chance, it's easy enough. So this is how we go ahead and do it. Not saying it's right or wrong. And this also doesn't correspond to what cylinder. Basically, cylinder 1 to us is in the front, works the way back to 6. So I know the firing order is not that, and that's not actually the cylinder. This is just to keep track of what we're doing. He is finishing pulling the bolt off. The problem is he drove up here and it is so hot that we can barely touch it. So once we get this one off, I'll show you what it actually looks like. I might have to
grab it with a towel because, guys,
they're that kind of hot.
I'm an idiot, so there's that. All right, guys, so this is where we're letting off for today. For you guys, there will be absolutely no break. So pulled the rockers off, 10 millimeters, no issues at all. Engine's still extremely hot, but we're at the point here. You can leave the bridges on, the valves, if you decide to go that route. I'll probably do that. But as you can see, guys, we are ready to start doing head studs here. This is why I'm doing, whenever I'm doing my head studs, I'm also doing push rods. You can see, guys, they are just ready to simply pull out. I'm gonna note the size difference, big difference. So anyway, guys, when this video, I mean, it's gonna continue immediately for you guys. And that's, we're gonna be putting head studs in. And we'll walk you guys step by step on what torque spec we're using, where we're starting at, and we'll show you the map.
All right, so we are slowly getting into it. He's actually gonna show you what we've done so far. We're only on number 3. We are using Glacier's Diesel's method to do it. We did the same method on my truck. It's been 8 months since we put that in. And basically you remove one, and we are going to do the torque them to 100, which is about the factory setting, and then we do 115. After you've done all of them, go to 115. Once you've done all of them at 115, then we go to the final torque of 125. So he's gonna show you what he's done so far. You guys can see we got 3 done. You guys are gonna have 6 long ones. The long ones are gonna go on the outside of the head here. I've at 3 right here at 100 foot-pounds. Jumping over here to the opposite side at 4. And just gonna keep plugging along. The front ones are super easy. Unfortunately, the direction you kind of start though is you start up here and you kind of work your way back, which definitely takes a little bit longer, but that's where we are, guys. Just keep in mind 100, what was it, 115, and then 125. So that's the direction we're going. I know some of these guys torque these things to 150. That is not what I'll be doing, but yeah, so. All right, guys, so finishing up here for tonight. We're not done them all, as you can tell. There's still some stock head bolts in there, but all the ones are down to 100. One key point I wanted to talk about, one of the holes did have some oil in it. I would assume just left it like from the cylinder head whenever I was cleaning stuff out. I did have to end up syringing it out because there was a decent amount in there. So if you run into that problem and you're having a head stud that's just not going, just keep that in mind. But we left off on 14. That's where we're gonna be for the night. And tomorrow we're gonna knock the rest of them out and then go through the motion. All right, guys. So we got the first iteration completed. You can see all of them all the way to the back.
Guys, if you have two people that kind of assist you a little bit with like grabbing the torque wrench, it does make it a little easier. It's not needed, but if you have two people like me and my brother, we're doing it. But anyway, first iteration is done. We are all done at 100 foot-pounds. And the next iteration is going to be 115 and then 125. And then from that point, we're going to start pulling push rods. I remember reading something about the cow being in the way for the back one, so I'm going to have to figure that out. But other than that, that's where we are. All right, guys, trying to make this as self-explanatory as possible. Sorry if that time lapse. I'll reposition the camera for the last iteration at 125 foot-pounds for you guys. We really try, now, I'm not saying this is right or wrong, we really try to get the torque sequence when after 100 foot-pounds, the original, like that last one was 115. We try to get it in one pull with the torque wrench instead of like multiple, like, you know what I mean? Like short stroking it per se. So just keep that in mind. So far, this is 115. We're doing the last iteration right now, 10 more foot-pounds at 125. And you can see that I was holding the head of the wrench on top of it and my brother was pulling the wrench, which you can do it yourself, obviously. It just makes it easier. It keeps pressure on the head of the bolt so you're not like pulling it all goofy and potentially like breaking them or anything. So that's where we are. If you see the zip tie on that push rod, that's going to be right after this. I'll explain that. So anyway, reposition the camera to 125 foot-pounds. Time for reassembly.
All right, guys, so we did the final 125. It is now time to do the Hamilton push rods. He's going to kind of explain to you a good way of how to get these out and set them back in. Because there is a certain way they do go in and out, and if you drop them in the motor, you're gonna have bigger issues. So
guys, you see how they're all uniform in length. If you're struggling to understand this, so like if I pull this up right there, you can even kind of hear it. It stops. Now, if I pull it all the way out, right, and I go back down, you're gonna feel that like cup to where, see how I just missed it? It can go down. But you're going to feel a cup to where it stops. And that's how you know. So when they say just drop them down in there, if you drop this down in there, you are going to have problems. This push rod will pass the tappet and go all the way down. So, and if you're like, how do I know it's in? See how I'm like, it's like stopping me. The oil is like causing a suction. And then uniform length across the board. There's, for these back ones, there's a freeze plug. I feel it right here. It's not a freeze plug. I don't know why. It's a rubber grommet. And another one. And I'm going to feed them back and then put them down that way. Guys, I'm just going to do one at a time. I know a lot of guys pull these out off the rip. I'm going to literally pull one, put one, pull one, put one. I am going to put oil at the bottom that goes into the tappet. And I am going to put a little bit of oil in the top. You can see here. Whatever motor oil you'd like to use. If you have diesel oil, go ahead and use that. So, all right, guys. So these are the Hamilton push rods. It's probably hard to tell in the factory one, obviously not the size difference, that's plain as day. But this one that I pulled out actually does have a slight bend in it. I held it up to my brother. It's probably hard to tell like on the paper, or on the rag, but trying to keep it clean. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dip this end in oil, and then I'm gonna put we got a little container there, put oil in the top right there, and that's just gonna help keep everything lubricated and no issues. So I'm literally gonna pull one, put one. Like I said, guys, keep in mind that you can miss the tappet. Like if you just literally just release it, you can miss the tappet. Feed it down, take your time, and get where you need to go. So let's get these in and show you guys how they look.
all right, so the first one's going in. He's just feeling for where it goes.
Right there. And you guys can tell, like I said, when I pull this back up, I almost feel it like click. It almost has a click feeling to it. You can see equal height here, a little bit of oil in the top,
Definitely beefier looking.
And that's it, guys. That's your Hamilton push rods. And I'm going to do that all the way back. And right after I get to this point, these grommets that are up here are going to make your life way easier.
All right, so we're going to kind of help you out with the back ones. Once you pull those plugs, it is a little kind of difficult to feed some of these in, but you just got to sit there and figure out which angle.
Guys, the method is under this coolant pipe. Then you're going to feel where you took that rubber grommet out. And you're going to feed it up in there. And then just like that, you're going to be able to drop it down. I figured that was a very valid point to add to this video. So I was kind of struggling with these two at first because I was trying to go on the front side. If you just go under here at an angle, and then my brother figured it out, it's going to make your life way easier. So we're on the last one, you guys can see, and then we're done.
All right, we are to the part where we are grinding the rocker box. I'm going to add a picture that's included in here. This little tiny wing needs to go. You'll see it in the picture as well. We'll show you what it looks like, and then we'll actually test it on the truck, and I'll show you why that's in the way. All right, guys, so that is the back part of the rocker box that you have to modify. Everything looks good right there. So we're gonna go ahead and put this back on. I believe the bolts are 10 millimeters, and the longer bolts go in the middle, and the front and rear bolt are the shorter of the bunch. So we're gonna get that on, and then next probably is the wiring harness, and then we'll get the rockers on. All right, he's finishing hand tightening the rocker box. Per Cummins specs, it's 18 foot-pounds. Start from the center, work your way out. And I lied, we're actually going to be putting the rocker arm assemblies back on. I'll give you torque specs of those as well. But if you're up to this point, you're pretty much on the home stretch at this point. You'll have to adjust valve lash, and that's pretty much it. But we're gonna finish doing the install on this, and then I'll get you the torque specs of the rocker arms. All right, so we're gonna show this part anyway. We tried to put it in, we actually needed to clear a little bit more. I think we are better off now. It was only barely touching right here, but we're gonna go ahead and clean this up from the metal shavings, throw it back in. All right, so rocker box is back on after the third time that we had to grind that back section down. Everything's cleaned up. This had a really bad leak from the CCV filter. The rocker arms, go ahead and reinstall those. Those are 27 foot-pounds. We're going to do valve lash in a separate video. I also still have to do valve lash to my truck as well. The injector harness is 13-inch pounds, so be careful not to over tighten those. I don't even think we used a torque or wrench for that. Just once they're snug, that's it. Do not
Snug,
go
not like crazy,
or you're gonna be getting a new injector. So we're gonna finish this video up. Everything looks good. Rocker box is clean. Again, thanks Exotic. Check out their website. We'll tag them, of course, on our Facebook post for this as well. Hamilton push rods look really, really good in here. Of course, the head studs. So hopefully in the future, he'll get some injectors. We'll make this thing extra spicy. But if you guys have watched up to this point, thanks again for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Always check out Facebook. That's where the early previews of everything that we're doing is. So thanks again.